so many notes about him that the book is pretty much full. Mr. Tom McBride, Thomas Edward.
I wasn't there. Mike Leonard is linked to this. I'm not there.
I didn't get hold of Mike. I probably should have.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't have.
I was in CCD.
Okay. Well, then
Let's
just,
start with a couple of rounds. I'm not going to be
oh yeah.
not right like that.
No, Father Delay was really neat. You really went there, you were really in trouble. Oh yeah. Really bad.
So now you know where you got it from. Well, let me get my book out here just to see what the stories are all about. Quite a few episodes on the playground, in the building. Yeah. And then, now you want to check the library. Anyhow, it says right here that there were so many that it's really too numerous to write them all down. That's what it says right away, but they got tired of making notes. But the most memorable event occurred when you were in first grade, and it says here that little Tommy McBride went out for recess at 2:15, and at 2:30 when recess was over, his desk was empty. He wasn't anywhere to be found. And the nuns were just set off in a tizzy because they didn't very often lose kids during the day. And so they put a little alert out, you know, and the music teacher went and the principal went. They couldn't all leave their rooms because the rest of these hunyaks would be raising canes. And so so they sent the two searchers out, and nobody could find Tommy McBride. And now poor Sister Mary Helen, who was your teacher, has got her blood pressure's raising, and you can see the veins in her forehead popping out. And so she's just fit to be tied. She's never lost a kid. And you know, he could have been drowning down in Crane Creek down there, you know, on the east side of Lawler, or I could have lost him up there on the highway. It wasn't on Highway 24, it goes right by the school. Remember, right in front there? But so we were just, what were we going to do? We didn't know what to do, and we thought Mrs. McBride's going to show up here, and her son's lost, and we're really accountable, and it's never happened at Mount Carmel before. Well, about 3:15, this car pulls up right out in front of the school. Remember how you used to pull off? There was that kind of edge there on the highway. And it's Mrs. McBride. It's Elizabeth coming in, and there's little Tommy sitting in the front seat looking really sad. Because his mother has found him, guess where? Down at his grandma's house, down at Grandma O'Halloran's house, down in East Main on Lawler. He's probably traveled at least 10 blocks as a 6-year-old first grader. And he's down there eating cookies when Elizabeth gets to town. So he just ran away from school. He just decided that afternoon he didn't want to go back and learn anything else new. He was tired and he wanted to treat. He knew it all. So anyhow, there's a note in here that says that you never had to pay a penalty that day because they were so glad that you had survived and you hadn't drowned. And so now you have to pay your penalty. And of course, usually that was writing something down. So I want you to write an appropriate apology. I want you to go back there with your pretty white and sit there and write an apology. Thank you very much. And you have to write it 10 times, front and back there. And then it has to meet your wife's approval. And if she doesn't approve, then you're going to be still accountable. Otherwise, if you want this erased from the book, and everybody does, because that's important to get it erased, you have to be off there. Would you like to say anything for yourself?
yes, I would. I have no memory of this. Several of you in the room are lawyers, so you understand. But I do have a memory of a movie that the nuns showed us, the Hunchback from Notre Dame, that I didn't like. And so I snuck off and I went to Margaret Ann's grandma's house. I remember that well. And they could have busted me for that, but they never did. Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister.
That was related by your mother. That's how I knew that story. That you had run away and gone down to Grandma Holland's. You just forgot. All right, now.